Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to this week's coaching episode of the Rise of the Trades podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners to skyrocket leads, explode net profits, but without having to graft 60 hours a week and becoming that busy fool. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching the top 20 ways that tradesmen and women can generate an avalanche of more leads coming into their business to build, grow, and scale it. But before we go there, could I just ask you a quick favour? And that is to hit the follow or subscribe button on whatever platform or channel you're listening to this episode on right now. The reason being, the more people that can follow our podcast, the algorithm will kick in and therefore show our episodes to more people that need our help and support. Now, let's transition over to this week's coaching episode. Listen, it's not rocket science to know that if we want to build, grow and scale our trades or construction business, we are going to want more leads coming into our business. One, so we can take more staff on and scale. But two, we have to understand that the more staff or the more tradesmen and women we take on, the more you're going to eat through work incredibly quick. So to keep feeding the beast, as I call it, as we're getting through all this work, we're going to need more leads. But we don't just want any old random leads. We want what I call pre-sold, ready-to-buy customers and clients. And therefore, we've got to go through an entire vetting process before the lead comes in to our business. Now, I'm going to give you, straight off the bat, 2 podcast episodes that I want you to go away and listen to that's going to help you to generate vetted leads. We don't want to be dealing with time wasters and tire kickers and the people that want things doing for nothing and they want it done yesterday. So just at the end of this episode, I want you to go and check out these 2. And these are episode numbers 36 and literally last week's episode, which is 97. So if you want to create more qualified, vetted leads to get rid of all the time wasters, go and have a listen to those 2 podcast episodes at the end of this one. Now, you know that you need better qualified leads coming in, whether you're planning on scaling and growing your business or not, we can always get better qualified leads coming in. But the problem lies in this. How do we generate, Craig, an avalanche of new leads, vetted leads coming into our business? Whether that's to scale or whether to stay at the level you are now, but get better leads coming in. And this is the golden question. How do we do it? Craig, how do you teach all your Growth Club and Inner Circle members how to do it? Well, it's very, very simple. And it starts with you stopping making the same classic mistakes that every other tradesperson on the planet is making, including you and all your competitors in and around the local area where you want to work. And that is this. You're all doing the same old school crappy tactics when it comes to marketing. You're all doing the same type of marketing activity. So you'll all be using social media. You've all probably got a website that you've invested into, but that website is not generating you the leads that you thought. So you've got a website, but it's crap, it's not working. You've all tried these directories like Checkertrade or My Builder. No doubt some of you will have tried leaflet drops. Some of you will be doing the odd networking event. Are you with me? You're all doing the same marketing tactics. So therefore, there is nothing separating you from your competitors. You're not doing anything different to what anybody else is doing. So how can you expect to get seen and build up know, like, trust and confidence with new potential customers when you're not doing anything different to what everybody else is doing? And if you are a Growth Club or Inner Circle member listening to this, you know that I talk about dominating your market. And people say to me, Craig, you keep using that word dominating, and I've even spoken on stages and come off and people have said to me, Craig, don't you think that's a bit like full on? That's a bit like, you want to dominate and take over and you don't care about anybody else or anybody's business. Don't you think it's a bit forceful? And I'm like, hang on a minute. It's the survival of the fittest, this game, isn't it? If I'm going to be in business, I want to be the number one. I want to be the best, the go-to company with more reviews, more video testimonials, more authority than all my competitors. And I can't help it if I start dominating and I start taking all the business off my competitors, leaving them with scraps. I can't help that. All I'm doing is focusing on growing my business that will then provide me and my family with a financial reward that we can live our lives through. Anybody can do this. My competitors can do this. But the thing is, they don't have the strategies. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the Trades Freedom Club behind them. And they haven't got the motivation to run through brick walls like I have. And that is what I teach my Growth Club and Inner Circle members. And for those people that think, oh, that's a bit harsh, that's a bit full on. Well, listen, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to be doing this, and you're the one that's on the negative receiving end, and you're going to feel the negative impact on somebody else implementing everything that I share on these episodes. And all of a sudden, you're going to be playing catch up. And trust me, when you're in business and you're playing catch up, it's freaking hard work. So you've got to start thinking, hang on a minute, is he right? Am I doing the same crappy old school marketing tactics that everybody and the mother's doing? Because if I am, nothing is separating, nothing is demonstrating why my potential customers should start to use me and my business over everybody else's. And because everybody's doing the same marketing, there is so much noise out there. Everybody is screaming in business for attention. Everybody wants that potential customer to stop the scroll on Facebook or LinkedIn as an example and take notice of them and their business and buy from you and use you. But if you're not doing anything different to anybody else, they're not going to stop the scroll because they've seen those type of posts or those type of messages a million times before. And the subconscious mind doesn't clock it. So therefore, they're just scrolling past all this content that you're putting out there. Why? Because you're not doing anything different to anyone else to get noticed. Are you with me? And this is typically when people come to me and say, Craig, the phone's not ringing. It's just gone dead. And come on, you know what it's like. There must be times in your business whereby some months phone's just ringing off a hook. You've got email inquiries coming in, word of mouth kicked in, all that lot, and you're getting loads of leads and inquiries coming in and you're rubbing your hands. Some months you can't keep up with it. But then you also get them months that drop off. And you might be a seasonal business, such as plumbing and heating, for example, or a landscape gardener. You're in a seasonal business where you're busy in certain parts of the month and then you're quiet in others. And what I'm saying is, this feast or famine, in terms of leads coming into your business, you shouldn't be running a business with feast or famine. It should be feast every single day of the week. But you're never going to get to feast because your marketing is no different to everybody else. So for these people that say, Craig, phone's not ringing, or Craig, we've been busy this last 6 months, so I've took a extra subbies on, or I've took more members of staff on tools to cope with all the work, but now I've hit a bit of a lean spell and the work's not coming in, the leads are drying up, and now I've got the overheads have increased. Now I've got all these subbies, all these employed members of staff, and I'm running out of work. What do I do? And I turn around to them and I say, well, how many videos have you recorded this week? What do you mean? Well, how many videos have you put on your Facebook stories, Instagram stories, TikTok? How many videos have you put on your YouTube channel? How many how-to videos have you added to your website this week? Well, I haven't. And I don't like shooting videos because I don't like how I sound or what I'm saying, or my mates take the piss when I shoot videos. Really? What, so you're going to let limiting beliefs and other people's opinions stop you from growing your business? So what you're saying is, you're not shooting videos. And they'll go, yeah, that's right. And I'll go, right, how many podcast episodes have you released this week? What do you mean podcast, Craig? You do a podcast because you're like a coach and stuff, but I'm a tradesman or tradeswoman. I can't do a podcast. I'm like, what? What? Why can't you do a podcast? If you do a podcast about your trade or industry or what you do for your business, do you not think that that's making you different to everybody else because 99% of people haven't got a podcast? Do you not think that's going to raise your authority by having a podcast? Do you not think that your potential customers are going to listen to that podcast and understand that you can solve the problem that they've got? Your authority is going to go through the roof. I've got inner circle members that have now got podcasts. Have you got a podcast? And they go, no. And they'll say, right, how many blog articles have you added to your website this month that are SEO, key rich, with the keywords that your target market are searching for on Google and Bing and directories to find your type of business? I haven't. And what about location-specific landing pages? How many of them have you built an SEO that have gone onto your website? How many landing pages have you built? How many lead magnets have you got? And I start coming out with all this and they go, I don't do any of that. And I say, exactly. That's why you feast and famine. That's why you've got lack of leads coming in. That's why this beast that you're building that needs feeding every week with new leads and inquiries coming in, you're struggling. Because you haven't nailed your marketing. You're doing the same crappy old school tactics as every other mother crusher. Do you get what I'm saying? So in today's day and age, it's easier to market a business than it ever has done in history. Because we can literally all just jump on social media, which is free, and start doing posts. But everybody's doing that. So you're no different to everybody else. So in the remainder of this episode, we're going to be covering, number one, what is an attract strategy? Because your attract strategy is a thing that's not working right. And then number two, what are the top 20 different marketing strategies that you need to be doing in your business to make sure that you stand out above all that noise and them competitors and you dominate your market? So the first thing that you've got to work on is understanding and building your attract strategy. And you'll not hear many other people talking about attract strategy. This is just something over 32 years of being in business that I've sort of like made up myself. But come on, let's face it. If we want to attract more of our target market in their highest concentration to us and our business, we've got to become some form of magnet that attracts that target market to us. And the first rule to an attract strategy is creating an element of content or content that nobody else is creating within our market. And if we can do things over and above what everybody's doing, then we're going to get noticed for the right reasons. And therefore, we're going to attract more leads, more customers to us and our business. So when I start explaining this to people that come to me and say, I've got a lack of leads, and I say to them, right, write down all the different ways and methods that you're marketing your business that allows your business and personal brand to be put out there to attract, like a magnet, your target market to your business. Write down how many things you're actually doing from a marketing perspective. And honestly, I'm going to ask you to do the exact same. I want you to write down all the different marketing methods and ways in which you're currently doing to attract leads to come into your business. And most people, when they write down what they're going to write down, they end up with about 6 different types of marketing they do as to form part of their attract strategy. And these are generally what I hear. 9 times out of 10, every tradesman that I ask to write this down, they'll say, right, number 1, I'm doing social media. Number 2, I've got a website, but it doesn't generate my leads. Number 3, I'm in directories, again, like Check a Trade. Number 4, I've done some like print advertising, whether that be leaflets or an advert in your local church magazine or something like that. And number 5, they'll say, I've had a dabble with paid ads, but it didn't work, right? So it's things like this that everybody else is doing, which makes you not stand out. So I say to people, well, hang on a minute, you're telling me you're doing 5 or 6 things. What is that it? Is that all you're doing in today's day and age to attract customers to your business? And they go, yeah, but what else can I do? I've no idea what else I can do. And I'm like, hang on a minute, there's 20. Well, there isn't, to be honest, there's probably 50. There's probably around 50 different marketing strategies that trades businesses can do to attract leads to them. But I share the top 20 because these top 20 that I'm going to share with you in the next chapter, these are proven to work for any trades or construction business. So I want you to write down how many different marketing strategies do you have? Because for my general rule of thumb, you need to have at least 15 different marketing strategies going at any one time to attract the right leads to your business. And if you've got less than 15, then you're no different to everybody else out there marketing and peddling their business in the old school way. So that's your challenge. Write down how many you've got. And if you've not got 15 plus, you definitely need help when it comes to your attract strategy. Now, let's just assume that you're going to implement what I'm going to share in this episode. And all of a sudden, let's say within the next 3 to 6 months, because let's be honest, these attract strategies are going to take some time. Come on, everything in business takes time, and it always takes longer than you plan, doesn't it? Let's face it. You might say, oh, I'm going to have this done by end of this month, but it doesn't. It takes 2 months to do. So let's say it takes you 6 months, but in 6 months' time, you've got 15 of these strategies working in your business. So number 1, you're going to get noticed because let's face it, marketing and advertising is easy. The more you do, the more you'll get found. Now you're getting found by more people because you're doing more marketing activity than all your competitors. And on top of that, you're now starting to implement strategies that they've never heard of. Never mind implementing. So now you're starting to dominate and you're getting the leads. The whole point and purpose of an attract strategy is to drive all of this traffic and all of this audience back to your ultimate sales tools. And your ultimate sales tools are as follows. Number 1 is a website. You see, we want to drive all this traffic. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's a video, social media post, paid ad, emails, text messages, lead magnets. It doesn't matter what you do. We've got to drive all that traffic back to either one, your website, two, a dedicated landing page, or three, a funnel. A funnel. Now, you might say, Craig, I get what a website is, but I don't fully understand what a landing page is and how it's used. And I certainly don't understand what a funnel is. So if that's you and you want more of an understanding to understand the strategy around what a website is designed for, the strategy around landing pages and the strategy around funnels, because they're all different strategies that need to be used in their own right, at the end of this episode, I'd like you to go and check out episode number 30, because episode number 30 is called Websites versus Landing Pages versus Funnels. Which one generates the most amount of leads for your business? So all this new traffic that we're starting to attract to our business based on the extra and additional attract and marketing strategies we're now doing is designed to drive traffic back to one of those three ultimate sales tools. Now, just like the attract strategy, which is going to take you some time to pull together, on top of that, you've got a website strategy that you need to bring in. You've got a landing page strategy and you've got a funnel strategy that all need bringing in. And they're going to take some time for you to build. And most people have invested into a website. But most people that have invested into a website have ended up with what I call a brochure website, which is basically an online brochure all about your business, but it doesn't generate you hardly any leads. Now, what I would say is, if you do have a website and it's not generating your leads, you need to do some work on that website, right? You've got to do work on your website. So I'm going to give you another podcast episode that will teach you the 16 fundamental features that you must build onto your website to turn it into an inquiry generating machine. And that is episode number 16. Because in that, I share with you the reason why your website's not working and why you've got to get these 16 features on to make sure that it converts. So let's start with a website first. You need to get the website strategy right, and then we're going to drive traffic back to the website. Then once that's working, you're going to build a landing page strategy, and we're then going to start driving traffic to a landing page. And then finally, you're going to have a funnel strategy, and we're going to do the same with that. So ultimately, the long-term plan is to build the new attract strategy using a minimum of 15 different strategies I'm going to share with you. And long term, they're all going to be sent back to a website landing page or a funnel. And honestly, once you implement this strategy into your business, it's freaking game over. Honestly, it's game over, because that is the ultimate of ultimate strategies overall for every trades and construction business to get to. And if you get to that point, or when you get to that point, I'm telling you now, you'll never have famine again in your business. It'll be feast, feast, feast every single day. In fact, you won't be able to cope with the amount of leads coming into your business. And don't forget, these are all going to be vetted leads by this point as well. So you know they've got the budget, the timescales fit and everything. You won't be able to cope with it. Which, let's face it, in business, that's exactly where we need to be. So stop this podcast now, pause it, grab a notepad, grab a pen, and write down how many different ways are you currently using to attract your target market and your audience to your business. And we need to be at 15. Now, I'll be very, very surprised and quite shocked, actually, if anybody hits 15. Because in all the years I've been teaching these strategies, I've never met anyone that's had more than 12. In fact, literally last week on our inner circle, we did our full day coaching day, a 9-hour day. Well, it ended up being 9.5 hours actually, but a 9.5 hour day all on the attract and content strategy. And the person that had got the most amount of attract strategies in place at that point was Dave Boyson from Eco Future Heat. Dave was up to 11. He just bolted another one on literally this month, which is his new YouTube channel. And he were up to 11. All the rest of the other inner circle members on average were coming in like 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways. Your goal is to get to 15 as quick as you can. And in the next chapter, I'm going to be sharing with you what the top 20 ways are so you can choose the 15 that you're going to invest into. So in this chapter, I'm going to give you the top 20 ways to attract your target market to your business. Now, you might say, well, hang on a minute, Craig, if there's 20 different ways, why are you telling us to choose 15? And the reason being is, depending on what your trade is or what your products or services you offer within your trades or construction business, all of these are relevant, but some of them are not going to be as relevant as what others are. Let me give you an example. One of these attract strategies is exhibitions. Now, you might think, how can I go and exhibit at my business at one of these big exhibits, conferences, or, Birmingham NEC and all this lot, Grand Designs and all that? Well, the answer is you can, but the cost of that can be quite significant. However, it doesn't still stop you from exhibiting. An example I want to give you is plumbing and heating engineer Greg Giorgio, who's one of my inner circle members. What he does at Christmas, and he's just done it this past Christmas, is he has like a stand or a stall, if you like, at his Christmas tree light switch on. And he'll run a competition over Christmas to get people into his attract strategy. Now, that's not a full-blown exhibition at Grand Designs, for example, but nevertheless, it's still an exhibition, it's still a stand in front of his target market, and he generated a whole host of leads doing something like that. Have you been doing that? Now, the reason why I'm just giving you that example is that's something that not everybody can or wants to do, I suppose. So what I'm saying out of these 20 that I'm going to give you now, I want you to choose 15. And again, you can't start them all at once. Some of these are going to take time. And what I want you to do is start bolting on one every week or every couple of weeks, bolt another one on until you get to the point where you're doing 15. And as soon as you get sort of like to 12, 13, 14, 15 different strategies bolted on, your lead generation is going to go through the roof. All right? Now, what I will say is every single one of these 20 strategies I'm going to give you now, I've already done a podcast episode on each one of these strategies in its entirety. Now, I don't know what platform you're listening to this on. You could be listening to it on Spotify, you could be listening to it on YouTube, you could be listening to it on Apple Podcasts. But did you know, if you were to listen to our episodes on our website, then on our website, we've got topics and filters that allows you to filter down all of the episodes I've done into different filters. So let me just tell you what these filters are, then you'll get what I mean. We've got a finance topic filter, a marketing one, which is where you'll find all the strategies I'm going to share with you now. We've got a mindset one, a planning, systems, team, time, and any interviews that I do with any of our guests or inner circle members, they sit in a topic tag called interviews. So if you were to listen to our podcast on our website, which is linked up in the show notes and the description of this episode, you could use the marketing filter to filter all of the marketing episodes that I've ever done that will give you all the strategies to everything that you're going to need to generate an avalanche of leads coming into your business. Now, I've listed all these 20 out, but they're not in any particular order of preference. So number 1 is not the most important. I've just listed them out and given them all a number. It's up to you to identify which ones are the most important to you. Okay? But here goes. Number 1, I've wrote down your business and your marketing brand. Because honestly, there is so many businesses out there that have got a really poor business brand. You think it's amazing because you've come up with the brand, but the fonts, the colours, the symbol, the strapline, the name of the business is not right. So the first thing we don't want to do is turn people off by having a poor brand. The second part of the branding is you, your personal brand. In the fact that people are buying from you. You're the person that they're going to be dealing with. You're probably the person that's going to be going out and meeting them and doing the home or site survey. You may well be putting the price together. You might be the one that they're contacting and doing the follow-up call. It's you. So your personal branding has got to be everywhere. It's got to be all over your videos. It's got to be on your website. You need photographs of you and your team on your website and your landing pages and inside your funnels, on your brochures, on your lead magnets. You need to be everywhere. Because in today's day and age, nobody wants to deal with a faceless company. And the amount of websites that I go on, and the business owner is nowhere to be seen, never mind your team. And it's like, hang on a minute, I want to know who's coming out to my home or to my business. I don't want a faceless company. I want to know who they are. I want to be able to see them, which is why the video side of it is incredibly important, because in a video, people can get to really know you. Now, the business brand and the personal brand is incredibly important. And I mean this because this is what I call foundation marketing. Because if you get your branding wrong, you're going to be turning people off before you've even started. So with this in mind, I'm going to give you 2 podcast episodes that I want you to go and listen to that is literally all around branding and will massively help you because it's that important. The first one is episode number 20, which is how to build a business brand that generates your leads. So episode 20. The second one is episode 57, which is how to build your personal brand that attracts quality leads in 3 simple steps. And I tell you what, let me throw another one in as a little bonus for you for branding. Go and also check out episode number 66. That's the 10 steps that you need to consider should you decide to rebrand your business. All right? So 3 podcasts, incredibly important all around branding and making sure that we get the brand right so we're not turning people off before we've even started. Number 2 is your social media strategy. But I'm not just on about banging out random posts at random times whenever you feel like you've got 5 minutes to grab a quick photo and just blast it out across social media for the sake of it. I'm not on about that. I'm on about identifying who your target market are on social media. Which social media do your target market hang out on in the highest concentration? Because let's face it, just because your competitors are on different social media platforms doesn't mean to say that you need to be on them to keep up with the Joneses. Because if your target market's not on that platform, why are you even diluting and wasting your time on it? Do you get me? You only need to be posting on platforms where you know for sure your target market are hanging out on. And there'll be certain platforms that you're posting on where they're not. So you need to stop that and save your time. And then talking about creating content that punches and speaks directly to that target market with the right messaging. I'm talking about utilizing all of the different social media platform features. So let's say, for argument's sake, we're using Facebook to attract our target market. You look on Facebook, we've got your personal Facebook profile, you've got your business profile, you've got reels, you've got groups, you've got Facebook stories, you've got Facebook Live, and a whole host of other features. I've just rattled 6 features off just on Facebook alone. To get your algorithm working and for that to kick in so that the algorithm starts showing your content to more people, you need to be using all of the different features that the platform offers, because it's going to favour profiles that do that. I'm talking about identifying the times of the day when your target market are actually online and not just posting at random times. You see, I'll only post my content at times where I know my target market are online. Likewise, that's what I teach my Growth and Inner Circle members. So all this lot, plus a whole host more, is what you need to be considering when it comes to a social media strategy. And again, I've got podcasts galore on social media strategy for you to go and check that out. Number 3, your Google business profile. You see, most businesses have got this set up and they'll probably just use it to collect reviews. But in actual fact, you need to be using your Google business profile almost like a social media platform, in the fact that you need to be posting on it at least 5 times a week. Images, videos, share your links to your blog articles. Use the Google business profile like it is Facebook or LinkedIn and be putting content on there. And when you put your content on there, you need to be typing in or adding keywords that people are searching for to find your business. So let's say, for argument's sake, you're an electrician and you're based in Sheffield. You could put a video or a post of a consumer unit that you've just replaced. And you could be talking about consumer units and electricians in Sheffield. And therefore, you're getting your keywords onto that post or video that you're putting on, which is helping the SEO side of it when it comes to Google. Because you know that Google works based on keywords. So the more keywords we can add to our content on our Google business profile, the better. Number 4, reviews. How many reviews have you got? Are you the most reviewed trades business in your area? Because as we know, reviews count for lots of benefits. Number 1, if you've got most reviews in your area, you can actually come out and publicly say, we are the most reviewed builder, joiner, roofer, plasterer, scaffolder, plumber in your area. That carries authority and that carries clout. You know that your customers are going to be checking out your Google reviews. The Google reviews help SEO to help you get ranked higher. So the more reviews we've got, the better. And obviously, all this is confidence in the customer or potential customer, knowing that you've got all these reviews and they're reading the reviews and you're on time, you're on budget, you're polite, you've got ServiceMate or Leadzilla set up. So therefore, you're keeping your customer automatically updated. You know, all this lot is what customers want to hear. So it's great that you might have already got some reviews, but how many reviews a week or a month are you getting? What is your review strategy? Please tell me, at the point of finishing every job, you have an automated email and text message triggered from Leadzilla asking that customer for a review. And in actual fact, inside Leadzilla now, what we've built that we're going to be offering out to our Growth and Inner Circle members is this. We've built an AI bot in WhatsApp. And that AI bot will ask the customer what their feedback is. And if the AI bot picks up on positive language back from the customer, and the customer gives us an indication on what they're going to review us at, it'll automatically send a review link for that customer to leave us a review. But let's say that you just come across one of them customers who doesn't matter what you've done or how you've bent over backwards to help them, they're just not happy. Because let's face it, we all get them, don't we? You can bend over backwards and do everything for them and they're still not happy. And that the AI bot picks up on a little bit of negative energy. It won't send them the review link. Are you with me? Because we don't want a 3-star review. We want 4 and 5-star reviews max. Are you with me? But how many reviews are you getting and what's your review strategy? Number 5 is video marketing. And what I mean by video marketing is, for me, you need to be posting videos every single day. And I mean that. And I'm not on about sort of like long-winded, long videos that have to be edited up and then put into YouTube. Even short-form video content like a Facebook story, where you can literally pull your phone out your pocket, record a quick video on what you're up to that day, and it might be 20, 30 seconds max, showing your target market the type of jobs and work that you do, and then share that video on your Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok stories. That is classed as a video. Now, literally, honestly, last week when we were on our content strategy session with our Inner Circle members, we're talking about videos, and we know that everybody's got this limiting belief on being comfortable in shooting videos. And I literally were explaining, look, just get videos banged out on stories. And while we were on the Zoom, I just pulled out my phone, I shot a video, 26 seconds, I shared it onto Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and TikTok stories, right? Just a quick video. I took it was just a one-take video. No practicing, no rehearsing, just sharing what we were up to that day on Inner Circle. That video across those 3 platforms had 1,700 views between the 3 platforms within 24 hours. I mean, come on. Where on earth can you get 1,700 eyes on your business from a 26-second video that took me literally 30 seconds to record, a few seconds pulling phone out my pocket, hitting record, recording it and sharing it? You can't get them views anywhere, and it's free. This is free marketing. So videos, you've got to make sure that you are creating video content. Now, let me share with you the top 5 videos that as a trades or construction business, you must have and you must be creating. Number 1 is an introduction video. Please tell me you've got an introduction video of you introducing your business, calling out your target market, hitting your target market with the pain points that they're experiencing, and then giving them the solution to solve the problem, which is your business and the products and services. Please tell me you've got an introduction video as a bare minimum on your website. The chances are you haven't. So number 1, introduction video. Number 2, video testimonials. You have got to have video testimonials of your happy customers and clients telling the world how amazing your business is. And therefore, we turn your happy customers into a sales team so you don't have to sell your business. You've got your customers selling your business for you. Number 3, how to videos. Whatever you're doing day to day on the tools, and even if you're off the tools, you can still jump onto a job, can't you, and do a how-to video. And this could be, I'm a joiner by trade, so this could be something as simple as, this is how you do an external mitre on a skirting board. This is how you hang a door and you set your hinges out. If you are a plumber, it might be, listen, this is how you bleed a radiator and take it off at wall if you want to decorate behind back of your radiator. Are you with me? You've all got valuable knowledge and skills. And if you can display this on videos, your target market are going to build up a relationship with you because you're now becoming the expert. You are now showing that customer that you've got the skills and the ability to do what they want you to do to solve their problem. Number 4, pain point videos. Pain point videos. And what I mean by pain points is, you are not selling a product or a service. You're not selling a boiler. You're not selling an extension. You're not selling solar panels. You're not selling CCTV cameras. You're not selling plastering a wall, right? That's the product that solves the problem. But your customers have a problem that forces them to go to Google or to look on social media, as an example, for somebody to solve the problem. So what you need to be talking about is the pain that your customers are experiencing. Because it's them type of posts or them type of blogs or them type of videos or them type of podcasts that are going to appeal to your target market. Come on, how many times do you hear me talking about your pain? Listen, I'm a tradesman. I've had your pain. I know what it feels like, and I know exactly what you go through. So I'm always talking about, listen, are you a tradesman that's staying up till 10 o'clock at night doing your paperwork, your books, your accounts and your invoicing till 10 o'clock at night, sacrificing that quality time that you should be spending with your family? Have you got cash flow problems that are keeping you awake at night? Have you invested into marketing heavily, expecting to get to number 1 on Google and then nothing, and you've wasted your money and you feel shafted? Listen, I know your pain. So what do I talk about all the time? Your pain. Because I know that when you're listening to the pain I'm talking about, I'm building up a rapport and you're thinking, this guy understands me. Craig knows my pain. He must be able to solve it. And just like I am on this podcast right now, I'm hitting you with loads of pain, but I'm giving you the solution to how to resolve it. Hopefully, building up a rapport and a relationship with you that you know what I'm talking about. So at the point where you can't do it, then I'm hoping that you're going to come to me, to the Growth Club, to the Inner Circle, to the Trades Freedom Club, and allow us to hold your hand and help you through it. Do you get me? And number 5 is before and after videos. Again, taking a video, you could be pulled up outside your customer's house on day 1, and you could call your target market out on that video. So for me, it might be, I've just pulled up at this 3-bedroom semi-detached house in Door in Sheffield. And what we're going to be doing over this next 9 weeks is converting this 3-bed semi into a 4-bedroomed property with an ensuite. The reason being, the customer's got a growing family and they're running out of space. And therefore, they want to extend the property. Are you with me? What have I just done if I did a video like that? I've just called out my target market. I've told them what type of house they live in. I've told you whereabouts in Sheffield they are. And I've told you why they're having a loft conversion done. Because they've got a growing family and that's the pain. They're running out of space. Then I could do a video at the end showing the job finished and then turn camera around to me and my customer and say, oh, Mrs. Jones, So, what did you think to our service? Were we on time and budget? Oh, they were amazing. Craig and his team, they were on time, they were on a budget. Because I know my target market want to hear these words. Are you with me? So these are the 5 videos that you've got to start to shoot. Number 6, podcasts. Honestly, how many trades businesses out there have got a podcast? It's probably less than 1%. So if you want to get yourself really noticed, why can't you do a podcast? It could be an audio podcast like this. It could be a video podcast that you put on YouTube, share across your social media platforms, and then you extract the audio off it and put it into things like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, exactly like I do. But if you do a podcast, you can be talking. All you're doing now is you're hearing my voice, right? You can't visually see anything. There's no video. It's just audio. But you are getting value from this podcast and from all my other previous podcast episodes. And that's why, as of December last year, Spotify awarded us with the number 1 and fastest growing podcast in the trades and construction industry category, right? I know how many downloads we get every single week, and it's turning into tens of thousands. So if there's tens of thousands of people listening to my audio, there could be tens of thousands of people listening to your audio where all you're doing is what I'm doing on here. You're sharing your knowledge and you're solving problems and you're demonstrating that you're an expert and therefore building up that rapport with people and your potential customers. This podcast episode, listen, let me be honest with you. You know, I'm being honest. I'm always transparent. We do more than 20 different types of attract strategy. We do more than that. But let me tell you now what the number 1 form of lead generation is right now in all my businesses. It's podcasts. There are more and more people now listening to podcasts than ever before. And you do it yourself. You're doing it now. So why can't they be listening to you? So you could set up a podcast based on your trade. And in that podcast, you're talking about the potential customer problems and then how you solve them. You can be talking about things such as a customer, these are the top 5 things that you need to look for when choosing a tradesman to do what you want them to do. You could get your past customers on a podcast and interview your past customers. I'm sure that you all use other trades. So why can't you, if you're I'm a joiner by trade, I could interview a plasterer, I could interview a plumber, I could interview an electrician. And all these interviews and all this knowledge is demonstrating to your potential customer that you are far superior and more professional than any other business out there. And there's more and more, in particular, my inner circle members that are setting podcasts up now and that are now starting to benefit from it. Number 7, paid advertising, paid ads, such as Google ads or maybe Facebook ads. And there's many people say to me, Craig, I've tried them. I've tried ads and they don't work. No, ads do work if you've got the right ad strategy. And here is a prime example of a strategy that people try and they say it doesn't work. And it's because they haven't got things like this in place. Number 1, let's say it's Facebook ads, for example. They'll start Facebook ads on a shoestring budget, right? They'll go, do you know what? I'm going to invest £1,000 into Facebook ads. Listen, the first £3,000 to £5,000 of any ad spend really is just collecting data. Because when you start them ads, you've got no data. You don't know who's clicking on them, who's watching them, and this is the same for Google. So you need to build up data to start off with first. And that data takes a number of thousands of pounds and a number of clicks to start getting that data together. And then once we've got the data, you can start to refine it and see who your target market is and get more laser focused on who the ads are going to be shown in front of. It could be that you're not split testing your ads. In other words, you've set 2 or 3 ads up, but you're not split testing them. In other words, split testing will say, right, let's keep this copy on the Facebook ad, but the thing that we're going to change on the ad is the image. So you might have the same copy, but with 2 different images. And you run them for a month to find out which image converts the highest. Then what you do when you know that, you would get rid of the ad that's not converting higher or the image. You keep the same copy. And the next month, you'd put another image and you'd run those 2. And then at the end of that month, you find out which image has worked the best. Now that's called split testing. You won't be split testing. And therefore, you're not changing the copy. You're not split testing the images. You're not split testing the videos. You're not split testing the call to action. You're not doing any of that. It's just random, winging it. Let's keep us fingers crossed and hope for the best. And another big mistake that people make with ads is they're running ads back to their website. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong as such, because the more traffic we can get back to the website, the more Google is going to go, hang on a minute, this is a popular website, therefore we're going to rank them higher. So it does have some benefits when it comes to an SEO purposes. But that is more around an SEO strategy for your website, not necessarily for Google Ads. With Google Ads or Facebook ads, let's say, you never send traffic usually back to a website, because on that website they can get lost in so much information that's not relevant to them. You run ads back to a dedicated landing page, where the only thing that they can do on that landing page is find out information about that product or service that's on that landing page. So let's go back to what we said earlier about the electrician. If you're a Sparky and you do consumer units, and then you fit solar panels, and then you might do EV charging points, you would be running ads specifically for consumer units, so therefore you'd send them back to a landing page where the only thing they could find information out on was consumer units, not solar, not EV chargers. If you're running ads for EV chargers, you'd run them to an EV charging landing page where they couldn't find anything else out there other than EV chargers. Do you get me? So ads is like a minefield, and there's probably 20 different things that can go right or wrong with ads. But if you're not dedicating enough budget to it and you're not doing some of the basic things like I've just shared with you, then of course the ads aren't going to work. But if you give it time and you give it the budget and you're doing all the split testing, eventually you get the ads working for you. Number 8, paid directories. And what I mean by paid directories are things like Checker Trade, maybe Which Trusted Trader, or My Builder. You know, these online directories where you can pay them to have a profile. And then the more you get reviews, the more your profile starts to build authority. Technically, the more leads you should get. But these are paid directories that you're having to pay for the lead. Now, you've got to bear in mind, and this was absolutely nailed on that Inner Circle coaching day last week with Ryan Forth from the Forthcoming Group. Ryan Forth, they do roofing, they do landscaping, they do driveways, they do brickwork and pointing and all that type of stuff. Ryan, in his own admission, gets an incredible amount of leads from paid directories, such as Check a Trade. But what you've got to understand with these directories is you're not the only one that gets the lead. 3, maybe even 5 other businesses are going to get that same lead. And sometimes these directories are a bit of a race to the bottom on price, because many people that use these directories want things doing cheap. Now, I'm not saying they don't work, because Ryan's case, Ryan gets a lot of business from these paid directories. But Ryan also shared last week how his conversion rate from directories is a lot lower than it is if he gets an inquiry through his landing pages or his websites or his Facebook business page. And the reason for that is the lead has gone out to multiple companies, and the speed in which you get back to someone on these directories is important, and the customer journey and the experience they get, where you've got to wow these customers, and they've not really been vetted, so you don't know whether they're a time waster. All this lot can affect your conversion rate with directories. However, they do work. The directories do work, and we've got many, many members that they rely on these paid directories because it brings them an avalanche of leads in. Number 9, email campaigns. Now, I know we all use email, but I'm talking about an email strategy whereby maybe the start of the customer journey of collecting an email address comes from a lead magnet. And what I mean by a lead magnet is maybe like a guide or an ebook that you might have on your website that you're going to give away for free to build rapport, to showcase you're an expert, to make you stand out because your competitors haven't got an ebook or a guide on the website. And therefore, to get that guide, they've got to give you the first name and email address. And this is a really clever way of being able to build your email list. And if you can build an email list where we're emailing them customers, not trying to sell to them, not being sleazy and salesy, but just educating them, and maybe sending them your latest podcast episode, or sending them your latest review, or sending them a video of a before and after job that you've done, building up credibility and authority with that customer, then email campaigns work. I'm not talking about, I've got a lack of work, let me just get my email address and spam it by offering the customers a discount to get working. That's not email campaigns. That's not an email strategy. That's an email broadcast where you're going to put one email out, open and praying that somebody takes action. But if you've got multiple lead magnets, every day, people downloading it, and that information, that email address then hitting Leadzilla, and inside Leadzilla, you build a series of automated email campaigns where these customers are going to get maybe one email every week where we're not flogging anything, we're just advising, we're giving value, we're giving knowledge to build rapport. I am telling you now, those emails will generate your leads. But how many people have got multiple email campaigns set up running? Probably not many. Number 10 is SMS, in other words, text messaging and WhatsApp messaging campaigns. You see, we know statistically, and we can back this up factually, and you'll probably know this yourself, that people will usually open text messages and emails as opposed to, sorry, let me rephrase that. Customers will open text messages and WhatsApp messages more than they will do emails. Because let's face it, they might get 50 emails in a day. Remember, email marketing works, but SMS and WhatsApp marketing is even more powerful. And again, we can set up an AI WhatsApp bot inside Leadzilla, and you can have a WhatsApp bot that you can share on social media. You could have a WhatsApp bot or a text bot set up on your website, whereby the customer can ask a question and the bot will kick in, and the bot will start to send text messages or WhatsApp messages to that customer, answering all the questions, including links back to your ultimate sales tools like your website, your landing pages, and your funnels. But how many people have got SMS, text, and WhatsApp campaigns set up, particularly on an AI bot? Probably not many. So far, I've given you 10 different strategies. Even if you were just to look at these 10 and implement these 10, your conversions and your leads are going to go sky high. But I'd be interested to know at this point, out of the ones that you've already previously written down that you're currently doing, how many of them out of this 10 are you doing? Because in the next chapter, I'm going to be sharing with you another 10 that you need to have bolted in to your attract strategy. Continuing with number 11 is magazines. Magazines, and I'm talking in your local area. I'm sure you've got things like local magazines that get pushed through your door. These could be some like your black and white magazines that are just local community ones. You might have got the glossier ones that get pushed through the doors, which are a bit more upmarket. You might have got a local church magazine. There might be an industry-specific magazine that's UK or worldwide maybe that you can advertise in that's specific for your trade or industry. Magazines work. Now, magazines is a long-term awareness campaign. And note the word awareness, because there's certain strategies that are more awareness campaigns and awareness strategies than they are lead generation. So, for example, when I used to have my building company, we used to advertise in 2 local monthly glossy magazines. And one of them were called Grapevine, in Sheffield this is, and the other one was called West Side. And these were 2 quite thick, glossy, upmarket magazines that were posted on a monthly basis through those doors of, let's say, 50,000 people a month. And I started advertising in them. And they want you to sign up for like 3 or 6 months. And the reason why they want you to sign up is because with magazine advertising, it is an awareness. It takes time for people to see your ads in magazines. So I signed up to 6 months, and for them first 6 months, we used to have a tracking code on the ad. So we could track the amount of leads coming in. And the first 6 months were really, really hit and miss. And I'm like, hang on a minute, what I'm investing into these glossy mags every month, I look at my return on investment and we're lucky to be breaking even. And I'm on verge of knocking it on head. But then around 6 month point, we had like a flurry of leads coming in 1 month. And I thought, oh, that's a bit bizarre, that. I wonder why that's happened. Is it seasonal? Is it the month? Is it, what's going off? What's different? Why has this happened? And I couldn't put my finger on it. So I let it go another month or 2. And then the leads started to come in. And what I realised was it took me 6 months for people to start clocking my adverts and my full page advert spreads that we were having and paying extra for. It took a bit of time for people to clock me and then go out and check me and research me. And I don't know whether this is true or not, but they reckon it takes 7 people 7 times to see your business before they even acknowledge that your business exists. They need to see it 7 times. And then I'm thinking, hang on a minute, we're now into months sort of like 6, 7 and 8 and leads are starting to come in. Maybe that rule of thumb of 7 times, and this were coming up to the 7th month, maybe that's true. So I decided to sign up for another 6 months. And by the time we got to the end of that 12 months, these magazines were paying for themselves 10 times over. But it takes time when it comes to magazines. I'm not saying you can't put one advert in a magazine and get a lead. I'm not saying that because the law of averages says that you might do. But magazine advertising, you've got to commit, I would have thought, to a minimum of 6 months to make it start to work with it being more of an awareness strategy. Number 12, leaflet drops. And again, this might be more for the domestic market than it is commercial. But leaflet drops do work. But again, you've got to have the right strategy. You can't just design a leaflet yourself. And I've seen it loads of times, like in my inner circle private WhatsApp groups, where every bit of marketing any of my members do, they've got to run it past me. I won't let them do anything without it running past me. So sometimes they'll go, right, I'm going to do a leaflet, and they'll design it on something like canva.com, and they'll send it me over, and I'll say, stop, what are you doing? You are trying to design a leaflet yourself, but you are not a psychologist. You don't know what needs to go onto a leaflet and what's the right order of a leaflet. And they're trying to sell the product or service rather than trying to sell the pain. And their logo is like centre, as though like their logo and business name matters most on a leaflet. That's the least important thing at this stage. So leaflets will work if, number 1, the leaflet is designed with psychology in mind and is designed by somebody who knows what they're doing. Number 2, if the leaflet is going out at the right time, the right month or the right season, particularly if you're a seasonal business. Number 3, is it going out to the postcode areas where your target market are hanging out? Number 4, have you been posting in local Facebook groups in the lead up to that leaflet being distributed? Because look at what I've just said. It can sometimes take 7 times for people to see your business before it registers. So if you can have like a Facebook community campaign in the lead up to you doing your leaflet drop in those areas, then you've got more chance of people seeing you. And the other thing is having a tracking code on your leaflet, making sure that you can track the results of that inquiry back to that leaflet. And the other thing that I'd encourage you to put on a leaflet in today's day and age is a QR code. Make it easy for people to get back to your landing pages or your websites or your funnels by having a QR code on them. Number 13 is your referral strategy. Listen, you know that word of mouth marketing is powerful, right? Because you get referred by past customers or clients on a regular basis. In fact, some people can run a business and all they do is rely on word of mouth, and that's dangerous because if anything were to stop or change, you're screwed. But word of mouth marketing is incredibly powerful. So if we know this, why can't we put the word of mouth marketing on steroids by introducing a referral strategy? So at the end of all the different jobs that you do, you can educate your happy customer on a referral strategy that would encourage them or influence them or incentivize them to start sharing you and your business more often. And we do that by introducing a referral strategy. And this could be something as simple as, this is our referral. This is what we want you to do. This is how you can refer us into your friends, work colleagues, contacts, business associates. This is how you can do it. And oh, by the way, every time you refer us and somebody comes to us, you will get X. And that X that you're going to give them is an incentive. Now, it's up to you what that incentive can be. It can be a small incentive for small referral jobs. It could be a bigger one for bigger referral jobs. But either way, why aren't you turning your happy customers and clients into a sales team at the end of each job by educating them what your referral strategy needs to be? Because we know that word of mouth works. Number 14. Networking events. I'm sure by now, if you're in business, you've heard of things called networking events. And this is where business owners meet up on a either weekly basis, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly basis. And the idea behind this networking is that you meet new contacts who get to know, like, and trust you, and therefore will start to refer you into more people that they come across. Now, I'm telling you now, networking is incredibly powerful. And even if you've tried it in the past and think it doesn't work, trust me, it works, because my life changed 19 years ago now from when I was that busy full joiner, right? Stressed out at max, robbing Peter to pay Paul, no leads, in debt, all that lot. My life changed when I started going networking. And I didn't want to go networking. I'd never even heard of networking 19 years ago. I just got invited to this networking event by an IFA, an independent financial advisor that I knew of, who'd seen me actually advertised in that Grapevine magazine that I mentioned earlier. He contacted me and said, Craig, I want to invite you to this networking event. I've seen you in this Grapevine magazine. I've seen you locally. I think it'd be good for you. And I'm like, I don't want to go networking. What is this networking? Is it some kind of cult? What do you do? I've got enough mates. I don't need any more mates. It was that type of negative mindset that I used to have. Anyway, long story short, I went. Not only did I start to generate a load of business, and this didn't happen straight away. It takes time to build relationships up. People have to get to know, like, and trust you. You've got to be going on a regular basis. You've got to be showing up. You've got to be reliable. And when this starts to happen, it will start to generate you an avalanche of leads. And I share this strategy massively on my inner circle. And people who have never been networking end up starting networking in their local area. And not only the leads that they're starting to generate goes sky high, but the confidence that this breathes into you as a business owner by stepping outside your comfort zone and networking with other people, the confidence side of it is absolutely priceless. And that confidence then transcribes through into your business on how you deal with your customers and how you communicate with your customers, which then generates you more leads. Are you with me? It has a massive knock-on effect. So networking is something that you've got to be doing, because if you're just sat between the four walls of your business, or you're rattling around in your van every day and you're not meeting new contacts, then you're not going to grow your business. And you know this saying that I'm about to say next. You know it, which goes like this. It's not what you know in business, it's who you know in business that opens doors of opportunity. And if you want more doors of opportunity opening, you have got to get more people to know you exist, to like you, and to trust you. And at that point, they will bring you work in, they'll bring your business in, and that happens through networking events. Number 15 is exhibitions. And I touched on this briefly earlier when I mentioned Greg, who's done his stall or stand at his local Christmas tree light switch on. But when you think about exhibitions, there's loads of different exhibitions. There'll be local business networking type of exhibitions. There'll be business expos. There'll be regional exhibitions. There'll be national exhibitions like like at Birmingham NEC or Excel Arena in London, where they have the massive sort of like the grand designs type of exhibitions or the new build exhibitions and all this lot. Listen, there's loads and loads of exhibitions out there. And again, this is a great awareness strategy that you exist, because going to these exhibitions and you've got a little stand and you've got some pop-up banners and you've got leaflets and you're giving stuff out. It's a great exercise to build awareness of you and your business, because you've got hundreds, if not thousands of people and footfall passing your stand or stall every single month. And I know people such as Adam Hulse, one of my Inner Circle members. And Adam's got a business where he does spray Coke. It's like a render, but it's Coke. Adam started doing exhibitions and he started picking up business. Another company that we work with is Cokesol. Cokesol are a company that provide the Coke spray for their applicators. They'll go and do exhibitions, all the way to people like Greg doing his local Christmas light switch on exhibition stroke stand. And there's loads of benefits of doing this. So number one is the awareness, the brand awareness. You're now starting to show up in front of people that you would have never have met if you've not had that exhibition or that stand there. Two, it's a great way of being able to collect email lists and numbers. Remember, what we said is, if we can have SMS or WhatsApp campaigns running, or we can have email campaigns running, somebody comes to your, let's say, exhibit stand, the first thing you need to do is capture the details. As they're completing these details on a form on your stand, that automatically goes into an email campaign and automatically goes into an SMS or WhatsApp campaign that starts to trigger emails and messages off to them. Again, not selling, just educating them and building up a relationship. And on top of all that, guess what? Your competitors aren't doing this. So this is another string to your bow that they've not got. Number 16, lead magnets. And I alluded to this earlier in this episode. Now, what I mean by a lead magnet is something of value that you're going to give away for free online, whether that be on your website, a landing page, a funnel, share a link on social media. As long as it's online, you can give something of value away for free to your target market, such as a guide or an ebook or a report. It could be anything. Series of training videos or explainer videos. But in return for what you're giving away for free, you want their first name and their email address. Now think about it. Let's say that you've got a landing page. And let's say you are a plumbing and heating engineer and you're trying to sell more boilers. If on your landing page or your funnel or your website, on the boiler installation page where you're trying to get more leads, if you had a guide or an ebook that said something like this, the top 10 mistakes customers make when choosing a new boiler, download, and all they need to do is put the first name and email in. If you're getting traffic back to that page on your website or that landing page, maybe you've shared a social media post about a boiler you've fitted and you've said, if you want more information about boiler installations, click this link. Or you're running a Facebook or Google ad back to a landing page that's selling boilers. And on that page, you've got this lead magnet, the top 10 mistakes people make when choosing a boiler. You know that traffic is interested in a boiler. Therefore, do you think they're going to want to know what the top 10 mistakes people make are before they're choosing or buying a boiler? Yes, of course they are. So what happens? They then give you the first name and email. Leadzilla triggers that email with the guiding automatically without you doing anything, and then puts them into an email campaign where it drips one email a week to them out, maybe over a course of 8 weeks. Maybe they get 8 emails. You don't do anything. Once it's built this, it runs forever. Runs while you're sleeping. But what that email is doing is it's building up that relationship with that customer by triggering reviews off to them, or video testimonials, or guarantees, or the reason why they should choose you. All them emails have been triggered automatically. And all that's been done by offering lead magnets. Now think about it. Let's just take plumbing and heating as an example. If you're a plumbing and heating engineer, you're probably fitting boilers, so you could have a lead magnet for boilers. You're probably doing boiler care plans, so you could have a lead magnet about boiler care plans. You're probably doing services, so you could have a boiler service plan. Maybe you're moving into heat pumps, and therefore you could have a heat pump lead magnet. If you've got a lead magnet for each of the services that you offer, and you're driving traffic from, let's say, social media back to that lead magnet every day, every week, that means every week there's new people coming into your email list that are going into those campaigns. By having lead magnets, it's a great way of being able to start to build a relationship with a customer, but it's safe from their point of view, because at this stage, they're not committing to anything, are they? They're not committing to booking a survey with you. They're not committing to paying a deposit or anything like that. All they're committing to is giving you the first name and email for some resources that they're going to find incredibly helpful. But then as they're reading through this lead magnet or watching the videos, perhaps if it's a video series, guess who's becoming the authority? You. Guess who's becoming the expert? You. Guess who's solving their problems? You. Guess who's doing something different that their competitors aren't doing? You. So lead magnets are incredibly powerful. Number 17, blog articles. Now, what I mean by a blog article is this is going to be a written or video piece of content that's going to sit on your website under a heading called blog articles. And basically what a blog article is it's where you're going to write some valuable information, a little bit like a lead magnet, I suppose, where you're giving information away for free. But a blog's where you're going to give some information away on your website that people can read. And if you can back that up with a video, basically saying exactly the same in a video as the written copy, and the video sits on your website, you've now got a vlog. So a blog is written content, maybe with some images that support that written content, that's giving that potential customer some information that's valuable for them to be able to buy from you. A blog with a video added to it instead of images becomes a vlog. Now, let me just talk you through a blog article. There are many people who are writing blog articles and putting them on the website. And that's great. But if nobody's actually searching Google for the keywords that you're writing into that blog, if you're just creating a random blog about a random topic that nobody's searching for, that blog article is pointless. The strategy around writing blogs that sit on your website is the blog article needs to be indexed by Google. In other words, we need to work out, or you need to work out, what are some of the search terms that people are searching for on Google to find my business? For example, When I had my building company before I sold it, we used to do an incredible amount of loft conversions, to a point where we'd have 7 loft conversions on the go at any one time. So when I started learning all about blog writing and SEOing these blogs to be found on Google, I started doing some research. Write this tool down. It's called Moz, Moz.com. Moz.com. There's a free subscription and there's a paid subscription. But on Moz.com, you can find out the keywords that people are searching for to find your business. And we can use these keywords on your website from an SEO point of view. And we can also then take them keywords and write a blog article, so the blog article starts to get ranked on Google. So when I started learning about this, which were about 16, 17 years ago, I started looking at the keywords that people would be searching for to find a loft conversion. So back then, things such as, how much does a loft conversion cost? I know for sure, because the data told me there were thousands and thousands of people every month typing in, how much does a loft conversion cost? So what did I do? I wrote a blog article all around how much a loft conversion costs. And in that blog article, I got those keywords in. I got those keywords in the heading of the blog, because that's what the blog were called. I got some images added to the blog, but the images we renamed how much does a loft conversion cost. So when the images were uploaded onto the website, Google were reading the images and seeing that we'd SEO'd the images. Long story short, within 3 to 4 months, that blog article were ranking on page 1 of Google, number 1 for how much does a loft conversion cost. Therefore, we started to generate an avalanche of leads coming through our business because people were finding that blog article. But where is the blog article held? Where is it kept? On your website, which is what? One of your ultimate sales tools. So the blog article was being found on Google. When they clicked the blog on Google, it took them over to my website to read the blog because the blog was on my website. Bingo. Now we're driving traffic off Google based on our blog articles. And this is why blogs are incredibly powerful, because we can get them ranking on Google quicker and easier than we can an entire website. Because when you're trying to index a website on Google that's been SEO'd, the entire website needs looking at by Google to get ranked. When you index a blog article, it's not the entire website, it's the blog article alone that's getting ranked. So it's a lot quicker and easier for Google to rank a blog than it is an entire website, which is why you need to focus on that strategy. Number 18 is your website. Remember, we've been talking about these 3 ultimate sales tools: websites, landing pages, and funnels. 18 is your website. And it really pains and upsets me when people have invested money into a website and they're not getting a return back on their investment. Now, I know that websites is a long-term strategy. It's very, very rare that you launch your website and straight away it goes to number 1 on Google. For many different reasons, it's difficult to do that initially. But if you've got the 16 fundamental features on your website that I shared with you earlier, and the website is built correctly, and it's SEO'd correctly, over time, not overnight, over time, you will get your website to page 1 of Google. Now, I'm saying not overnight. Having said that, we built a website recently for Ryan Price at Surrey Heating Specialists. And within 10 working days of that website going live, we got him to page one of Google for every single one of his services that he offers. So it can be done, but that's down to things like the competition in that area for the keywords. If somebody's already been on page one of Google for 3 years and they've got an amazing website themselves and they're doing all this strategy work, it's going to be tough to knock them off. But it can be done, but it takes time in general. 6 to 12 months is what we say for websites to start hitting page one. But if you've got your website strategy nailed on and it's built right with the 16 features and the SEO's done, and every month you're adding new content that's SEO'd onto your website, such as blogs, vlogs, new pages, service pages, location-specific landing pages. You're dealing with things like backlinks and citations. As long as you're doing that on a monthly basis, there's a strong possibility that over that 12-month period, you'll get to page one of Google for everything that's on your website. But that is a strategy that you've got to implement to get that prize asset, i.e. your website, ranking on page one of Google. Because when you do that, you're going to generate more leads. Number 19 is your landing pages. And again, this is the second ultimate sales tool. Now, you might say, well, what's the difference, Craig, between a website and a landing page? Well, again, all that I explained in that previous episode that I mentioned earlier. But very quickly, a website is designed to have all the information about your business on it, which includes all the different products and services that you offer as a business. Now, you might only offer 3 services as a business. Maybe let's go back to that plumbing and heating engineer that I've just mentioned. It might be all you do is boiler repairs, stroke servicing, boiler care plans, and boiler installations. Maybe that's all you do, them 3 things. Then that's not bad because you've only got 3 things that you're advertising on your website. However, there will be many businesses, depending on your trade, that's offering might offering me 10 different services on the website. So if you think about it, a website is like a brochure where the customer can find out anything and everything about your business, including all the different products and services you offer. Whereas a landing page doesn't work like that. A landing page is where you're just literally advertising and promoting one product and one service only on that page, and that's it. So they can't click on multiple different tabs at the top like you can on a website because there's no tabs on it. On a landing page, we take off all your social media icons. Like on a website, you'd have all your social media, like followers on Facebook and all that. We strip all that lot off that landing page because we don't want people going to Facebook or YouTube from your landing page. The whole point of a landing page is to promote one product and one service only and get laser focused on that. Now, the strategy between the website and the landing page differs because the website strategy is designed for you to be found on Google for people typing in search terms into that Google search bar. So the website strategy is SEO and Google based. Where a landing page strategy isn't relying on keywords, it's not relying on anybody searching Google or anybody typing keywords in. A landing page strategy is designed for you to drive organic or paid traffic to the landing page. What I mean by organic traffic is things like social media or videos, where people might see a social media post or a video that you've added to your social media profile, and they've clicked the link that you've added to that post. And when they click that link is going to divert them and send them to that landing page. Do you get me? Paid ads, you're running paid advertising, and that traffic is going to be sent directly back to that landing page, not your website. So you can start to see here how you've got two different things at play. Websites are designed to be found on Google by people searching. Landing pages have been designed to be found by you, driving your own traffic from organic and paid traffic back to it. Now think about what I said earlier. We need to start on one strategy. My suggestion would always be your website first, followed by your landing pages. But if you get your website to page 1 of Google and it's generating your organic traffic, and then you've got a landing page strategy, so now your organic and your paid ads are starting to generate your traffic. Now we're starting to cook. Now we're starting to generate more leads than we can cope with coming into our business. And the final strategy, number 20, is funnels. Because funnel building is another ultimate sales tool that we need to be driving traffic into. So for those that don't know what a funnel is, let me just briefly explain it and share how it differs from websites and landing pages. A funnel is basically a journey that you're going to take a potential customer on without you getting involved at all. It's like you wake up in the morning and your inbox is full of inquiries, or even better, surveys or appointments that are already booked into your survey calendar, and they've already been vetted without you doing anything. I mean, how amazing would that be for you to just wake up every morning, switch your emails on and say, right, you've had 6 people book appointments with you. They've all been vetted. These are all the details. We've already sent an email and a text message off to that customer, and we'll send a reminder email and text, all automated, all systemized without you lifting a finger. That is what we call a funnel. So let me give you an example of a basic funnel that we build for our members, but it'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's say that we start off with a lead magnet, which you now know is something that you're going to give away for free. So let's say we've got this lead magnet sat on its own page. And this lead magnet let's take my case as a building company. Let's take loft conversions like we did. This lead magnet is a top 10 mistakes people make when having a loft conversion, right? When they give me their first name and their email address, they're going to give me that, but instead of a thank you page popping up saying thank you for giving us your contact details, a landing page is going to pop up instead. And on that landing page, the only thing they can do is find out more information about loft conversions. And we know they're interested in that, because they've just downloaded a lead magnet on loft conversions. So straight from downloading the lead magnet, the next page that they're going to automatically get sent to while you're sleeping is a landing page. Oh, I'm on this landing page now. Oh, look at all this valuable information about a loft conversion that I'm interested in. From that landing page, if they're then interested, they can click a call to action button that would send them over to a vetting form page. And on that vetting form page, we can be asking them a load of different questions, all about why they're thinking of a loft conversion, when do they want the loft conversion, what are they going to turn the loft into, what's the budget, what's the timescales, and they can fill that out. Then once they fill that out and they click submit, as long as the criteria that they've put into that vetting form matches my criteria of an ideal target market and not a time waster, the vetting form will then send them automatically to a calendar to book a survey in. And on that survey calendar, they will have times and dates that are already preset by me on when I'm prepared to go out and do the surveys. They can go, actually, I can book an appointment in and get a survey. I'm going to choose Thursday at 2 p.m. So the customer selects that time and date. They then book that survey. They get an automated email and text message sent to them with a video of me thanking them for booking the survey and explaining what's going to happen on the survey. And then they would sit on a sales pipeline inside Leadzilla. It would also send me an email and me a text message or a WhatsApp message letting me know that I've got a survey that's been booked in. But the survey's been vetted. Do you get what I'm saying? So I could get up in the morning, check my texts or my WhatsApps, and I could wake up and check my emails, and wake up to maybe 2 people that started off by downloading the lead magnet, that went to the landing page, that went through the vetting form, met all my criteria, so we presented them with a survey calendar. And then beyond that, they've already had emails and text messages sent to them. Now, all that is what we call a funnel. Because what you've done is you've funneled a stranger who might have just simply seen a post that you've put on Facebook about loft conversions that's been sent back to that lead magnet page that then starts the funnel and drives them through that funnel into becoming someone who's booked a survey. And I just get up in the morning, I can see on my emails, texts and WhatsApps that somebody's done that. Now, that is what you call building an automated, systemized marketing and sales strategy. And we need to bolt that onto our business as well. Now, there's a little bit more in-depth work to do that, but everything you see come out from me, you'll go into one of my funnels. Everything I teach my Inner Circle members is funnel building. And now we've got Inner Circle members that have got a website that's got the 16 fundamental features on, that's been SEO'd, that now starting to generate vetted leads through the website. That same Inner Circle member, once that's up and running, will then go and have built landing pages and are now using organic traffic, like posting on Facebook or LinkedIn, and paid ads to run organic and paid traffic too. And now they're starting to generate leads through landing pages. And then that same Inner Circle member has now built their first funnel and are now waking up to leads that have just been booked into their survey calendar because they've got the funnel. Now, at this point, you've nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it. And you'll be swamped with vetted leads, which is exactly in a business where we need to be at. Now, I know there's a lot that I've shared with you so far in this episode, but these are the levels that you need to be playing at in business, because my Inner Circle members are at this level. And if my Inner Circle member is in your local town or city, then I'm telling you now, they're either cleaning up now or they're going to clean up now. Why? Because they're implementing these proven strategies that work. Whilst when you look at what I asked you to write down earlier, how many different attract strategies are you doing? You might have wrote 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down. It's not enough because everybody's doing the same as what you're doing. Remember how I started this episode off? You've got to dominate in today's day and age because out there's that much competition. all fighting for the same amount of customers that you're going for, it's getting ugly. And people are now starting to reduce prices. They're trying to buy work in, and it's a price to the bottom when you do that. Well, I want you out of that. I don't want you in that rat race. Let your competitors fight it out and slash prices and be busy fools. All you need to do is do something different to what they're doing, and then you'll get a different result, which is form your new attract strategy, implement what I've shared during these 20 different marketing strategies, get your head down, roll your sleeves up, and go and get fucking stuck in. That's where we need to be at. That's the level we need to be playing at in today's day and age. So your action tasks from this particular episode is to look at all 20 and say to yourself, right, let me just choose the next 5, right? Yes, you need to end up with 15, but you can't do 15 all in a oneer. You ain't got the time, you ain't got the budget, and you ain't got the headspace. So just choose the 5 that you're going to focus on. Then out of them 5, which one is going to be the priority? And then with that being the priority, you stick to it, you get that over the line, you get it working, it starts to generate your leads, then you're going to move on to the next one. And I would suspect that over the next 6 months, all 5 of them, maybe even 6 of them, maybe even 7, you will be able to introduce them into your business within a 6-month period. Let's not set ourselves up for failure by going, oh, Craig, I can have this done by next week. Because in reality, you're probably not going to be able to do that. But by setting yourself a goal of getting 5 done in 6 months and actively working on them and towards them, then you've got more chance of success in doing that than setting yourself up for failure. Then what I would love you to do is, if you're in our growth club, come and tell us inside our growth club community that you've listened to episode 98 and these are the 5 things, Craig, I'm going to start working on and I need some help. Come and tell us inside our growth club. If you're not a growth club member yet and you want a hand and you want us and our team and our community to help you with all this, then please consider joining our growth club by clicking on the link in the show notes and the description of this episode. Also, if you don't feel as though you're ready for that commitment yet, I totally get it. We've got a free Facebook group and community where you can still come in and tell us that you've listened to episode 98 and come and tell me, tag me in, come and tell me what you're working on. And we've got a free group where you can still get help and support within our free Facebook group and community. Either way, we've got your back covered, and either way, we're going to give you some help and some support. Again, the link to that Facebook group is in the show notes and the description of this episode. And remember, if you've got value from this episode or any previous one, I'd really appreciate it if you could like or subscribe to our podcast based on whatever channel you're listening to this on right now. So there you go. You've got the knowledge. It's over to you now to roll your sleeves up, take massive action, get motivated and get stuck in. Now, I'm going to finish off by leaving you on one of my popular quotes that I know you've heard before, but it is absolutely relevant to this episode. And it goes like this. When you're prepared to do things that other people are not prepared to do, only then will you get a greater and better result. So in other words, if you want to dominate in your local area, you've got to do things that your competitors are scared of doing, won't do, don't believe that'll work. You've got to submerge yourself into it, implement it, and I guarantee you'll get greater results. I'll catch up with you on next week's episode, and I'll meet you at the top. Thank you.